Now, as I'm doing this video, NIO in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, it's up 5.6%, which is something that obviously might trigger or might signal that the very same rally we saw on Thursday, Friday last week, it might continue even this week. I mean, what is fueling this rally is obviously the figures or the economic figures that we saw coming from China last week on Friday, which came better than what analysts expected, which is something that is just so great, or which was so great to see China seeing their GDP in Q4 growing by 5.4%, which is better than the 5% which obviously analysts were expecting, which is something that was so great, so amazing to see. Now, another thing that might be fueling the markets is, of course, something that we discussed over the weekend, and it was the call that President Trump and President of China Xi Jinping had, which was just all about positive vibes. We discussed a lot about that. President Trump saying that him and the President of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, they will do their best to make a world a more peaceful and safe, which is something that is just so incredible. Now, as I've said, in Hong Kong, NIO stock, it's up 5.6%, XPeng up 2.9%, Baba up 6%, and we have got Li Auto up 3.5%, which is something that, of course, like I said, it's positive. Now, just yesterday, we read something very interesting coming. Apparently, Trump has expressed interest in visiting China in his first 100 days in office. So President Trump, or the President of the United States, intends going to China, and this is positive, or this should be seen as positive, because the problems of the world are going to be solved. There will be peace, and most importantly, the trade wars or the trade barriers between the two countries, I think they will fade away very soon. I mean, you will know that in terms of trade, US has imposed 100% tariffs onto Chinese EV makers like NIO, therefore restricting or making it difficult for them to come and penetrate the US market. And seeing this, it might open a door for these US EV makers to penetrate the US market, which is something that we look forward to, man. I mean, one thing that obviously some of the investors who have seen this, of saying that the president of the US, Mr. Donald Trump, want to visit China, they have indicated that, who knows, this year we might see the same rally we saw back in 2021, where we saw NIO going back or heading back to $66.99. You will know that that was a Trump era, or that was an era where, of course, Trump was president. And who knows, these 4 years might bring that same opportunity, might bring that same rally into Chinese equities like NIO, which is something that is great. And this is something that is going to interest quite a number of the investors of NIO, even those that were not loading, those that had left NIO because of the political tensions between China and the US. Chances are they will come back and want to invest in China, because already there is a positive sentiment between these two countries. There is a positive vibe. And you will remember that once Trump, or after President Trump won the election, quite a number of investors were saying, because Trump is not it's a difficult negotiator, things might not go very well for China, which is why even China themselves increased their stimulus, or they wanted to make sure that they have enough money to boost their economy, or to make sure that the economy continues with the momentum of growth, because they know that with Trump in, it's not that easy to negotiate. He's a good negotiator because he's a businessman, and therefore seeing this, it spikes hope. It gives hope, especially to those that were not investing into Chinese equities because of the tensions between the two countries. So I am happy, man. I am excited to hear that Trump is going to visit China. He intends on visiting China very soon, because who knows what will come out from that meeting. Me, this week, I'm going to load the boat onto NIO and just wait, relax, because I know NIO is doing the work. I know NIO is producing, selling very well. And chances are very high that with the political tensions between the two countries going to be at ease, this will open investors to flock into Chinese equities like NIO. And guess what we are going to see? We are going to see Chinese equities like NIO finally gaining the share price, or gaining the market cap which they ought to be valued at. They are going to be fairly valued, which is something as investors I cannot wait to see. 5.6% is the kind of gains that we are seeing from NIO in China at this very moment, which is something that is great, something that is pretty exciting. So yeah, man, tell me what you think about this. I think, of course, we need to brace ourselves for what's coming, and yeah, nothing is guaranteed yet, but obviously based on the conversations, based on what President Trump is saying about China, about how they want to address things, it's positive, man. And this, I can tell you now, it is good for China in as much as it's good for the US. US needs China, China needs US. There is no other way, guys. Both these countries need each other, and the sooner they resolve their issues, the better both the countries will do well. And that, as investors, it's what we need, right? So yeah, man, tell me what you think. I'm very excited. I know that we are going to see our stocks or Chinese EV makers who have been beaten down to the ground, our stocks like NIO recovering, which is something that is, of course, good, and we look forward to that. So do your own due diligence. Tell me what you think about this. Brace yourselves for what's coming. Me personally, I'm going to load the board whenever I can. This week I told you I'm getting my first paycheck. Next week is my second paycheck, and both on these paychecks I'm going to make sure that I go in, I load the board as much as I can, because it's a no-brainer that blue sky is coming, long term will win, and those that are persevering throughout the headwinds of the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. I'll see you on my next video, man, and God bless you all.